is the University of Texas's starting quarterback in 2023. Steve Sarkisian chose not to bury the lead, not to make this a bigger issue than it needed to be, and say Quinn Ewers is going to be our guy to start 2023 for the Texas Longhorns. And I think this is a big deal. One, Ewers showed enough in these 15 practices to convince Steve Sarkisian that he needs to keep the job, and he is still their best chance to win a bunch of football games in 2023. And this is a pivotal year for Texas, like Oklahoma, who is going to play their last year of Big 12 football this year, and they got some games on the schedule that, well, frankly, they need to win. OU versus Texas being one, Texas versus Houston, which I've gone into. But I thought what was interesting about this is the way that Steve Sarkisian talked about Quinn Ewers and his play and why he felt comfortable saying this is our guy. One, he played every snap with the first team offense in not just the first half, but in the game, right? He was 16 of 23 for 195 and a TD, and Sark called that efficient, which was apparently evident because he hit a 46-yarder to Xavier Worthy, who was his best wide receiver and the best wide receiver at Texas last year for a TD. He also threw six passes to A.D. Mitchell. Adonai is what we're probably going to end up calling that man more often than not, but he's A.D. Mitchell transferring in from Georgia, outstanding wide receiver, and frankly, a mismatch nightmare if we're getting down to it, because I think that's a guy that is in position to make a lot of plays for them, probably in that slot, in that Y position, the kind of position that I thought you might see Agiye Hall before he went sideways, before Jaleel Billingsley and whatnot went sideways. I think he is the guy that they're expecting to be on either side of Xavier Worthy and, say, Isaiah Nayer, who's coming back from injury and after transferring in from Wyoming last year, was one of the better gets in the 2022 transfer portal season. And I really am interested to see how Quinn Ewers uses all these weapons around him, because along with A.D. Mitchell and Xavier Worthy, Jonte Cook is also going to be a dude that is out there challenging for snaps at wide receiver, and Marcus Washington is back. They got a core, but that's always the same thing with Texas. We always know they have talent. They're always going to be one of the most talented football teams in the country. It's about, can you win more games than you lose? Can you play for Big 12 championships? Can you play for the first time in the college football playoff? On the defensive side of the ball, Anthony Hill showed up like I thought he would. That is a true freshman that, man, pull the trigger, he's going to fire off the ball. I get a lot of Kenneth Murray Jr. feels from him. I think next to a guy like Jalen Ford, who was an All-American last year, Pete Kwiatkowski is building toward a defense that could be really, really fun to watch and frankly can challenge for the Big 12 championship, as I think they could challenge most every year. That's why it's really frustrating to talk about Texas, because until they play football games, you don't know much, but when they play football games, they can show you we are this close to beating Alabama. As a matter of fact, Ewers doesn't get hurt, they probably beat Alabama on the 40 acres. And goodness me, that would mean that Quinn Ewers was able to do something that Colt McCoy wasn't ever able to do, which is beat Nick Saban in Alabama. And he got close in his first try. Now they got to go to Bryant Denny in Tuscaloosa and try to do it again. But I also believe that is the reason why Quinn Ewers is the starter. But more interesting, it's not that Arch Manning is not the starter. It's that Malik Murphy is the number two. Malik Murphy, who has all the tools to be an outstanding college football quarterback, if not an outstanding pro. He has the size, the arm strength, and the mobility to really push Texas to another level. 9 of 13, 165 with a TD on Saturday. That's a guy that you now feel comfortable throwing in, right? That you didn't feel comfortable throwing in last year, especially, knowing Hudson Card is now at Purdue, probably going to win the starting job up there. I've wanted to see Malik Murphy play college football for a long time. It feels like if something happens to Ewers, they're already prepared to go to him, and he provides something different that teams would have to guard against, frankly. I mean, Quinn Ewers is going to step back, scan the field, and try to throw darts. Malik Murphy might go through his progressions and then take off running because he can. He's that big, he's that fast, he's that powerful. And lastly, this really is a good thing for Arch. Now, I know those of y'all that are on that Arch Manning train probably want to have a word with the conductor about the pace of this thing and how quickly they're going to get to their destination. But I think Arch's plan was always to be an SEC quarterback. And I never doubted that. You saw enough of him at Isidore Newman to know, hey, he's got the tools, but you're still going to have to teach this dude how to play big-time college football. And I wanted him to have the redshirt year because I want good things for Arch. I want him to have an opportunity. Now, next year, when Quinn Ewers might go to the NFL, might be selected in the NFL draft, Then you got a duel between Malik Murphy and Arch Manning, and how much more is Arch Manning able to show this time next year is going to tell us a whole bunch about who the starting quarterback is in 2024. And then I was really curious about the running back situation at Texas, and man, they're loaded. You wouldn't think so. Losing Bijan Robinson, who we all believe probably going to get selected in the first round because he's that great a tailback. But we thought that usually, you're going to have somebody that is that pivotal to your offense. It's going to mean a big hole in your offense. What are you going to fill that with? Turns out they're going to fill it with maybe 6 guys that can rotate in, which kind of makes that running back room bulletproof. Cedric Baxter was a great tailback in high school. He showed enough. Jaden Blue apparently has made some leaps this year. Keelan Robinson, Jonathan Brooke, Kai Wood, Savion Red. At one point, I was going, do they have something behind Bijan? Turns out, yeah, they've got 6 behind Bijan. Thank you for watching the #1 college football show. Please remember to subscribe to the channel and like this video so that you don't miss any of the best college football coverage in America.